After this, she demanded a lump sum from me. She said her alimony when I ended the relationship, before I asked her to come back. And when I refused to give her this, but a certain sum every month, she actually contacted some people who had been helping me with my legal status here in Kenya. I can't say much more about that, but actually telling them not to help me anymore. Something that may have got me into serious trouble.
Welcome to AFAX number one stop to entertainment and trending news. Now, TikTok star Shiro took to share that it was over between her and her ex-husband Greg Twist. Now, for those who might not know the couple, they are a celebrated social media power couple. They have done several interviews in the media. They are also very popular over the videos that they have done on TikTok and also other social media pages. And of course, Shiro is a content creator on YouTube. So when she took to share that it was over between her and her husband, that is Greg Twist, she did not give much details, basically just putting out that they had drifted apart, they did not have the same goals, same beliefs, things like that, but it was just over between them in case you get to see him with somebody else and vice versa. Please know that they are no longer together. And besides that, she had also put out that people were already questioning, where is Greg, and so Shiro puts out that it is over between them, and then her ex creates a YouTube channel, that is Greg Twist, and then shares his side of the story. And from the side of the story, what we get to gather from it is that he was used and he was dumped. There was a lot of money talks. There was a lot of him trying to make things work with his wife, wanting her back and all that, but she had refused. And he gave some details. She had moved out of their master bedroom. He had bought a car and it was under her name. I mean, everything that he had put out basically gave out gold digger vibes. Showed that this is a woman who has already gotten what she wants and she ducked out. But Shiro later comes on to respond to that particular video that he put out and explains everything in details. But before we get into that, I want us to listen first of all to the few things that Greg spoke about.
Her back and to make concessions to her, which I did. That the children will be educated the way she wanted. And then also she wanted her sister to live with us. So I said, all right, fine. I'd actually only come for me and her and the kids, but I said, fine. And then she wanted me to go up to Nakuru and to pay dowry. Now, I don't believe in dowry. I know there are mixed opinions on this. I personally feel that in an equal world, dowry would not be necessary. But I agreed to give her father, her parents, money, but to say that wasn't so much dowry as it was a thank you for them taking care of the children when they were younger. So she didn't like the house I was living in, so I got a larger 4-bedroomed house. Quite soon, her other siblings started to move in. First her brother, who then during COVID taught the children for 18 months or so, homeschooled. I gave him board, lodging, occasional pocket money to buy clothes, and I also paid him a proper salary for teaching the kids. Her other sister turned up with her daughter, my niece, because she had split up with her husband, and they started living with us as well. So there were 8 of us in the house altogether. After that sister moved out, I gave her money to go and have a small place in Kitengela, and she also came and worked in our garden, and I paid her for a half day's work, double what she was actually being paid to work in a small shop full time. On top of that, I also paid her younger sister's education at university for the first year. So altogether I had paid that, paid for Mary called dowry, put up 3 other siblings and a niece, and on top of that I bought a car which we put in Mary. So after this, she demanded a lump sum from me. She said her alimony when I ended the relationship, before I asked her to come back. And when I refused to give her this, but a certain sum every month, she actually contacted some people who had been helping me with my legal status here in Kenya. I can't say much more about that, but actually telling them not to help me anymore. Something that may have got me into serious trouble. The father of her own children.
And from that video, I think you can get a picture of what he's putting out is that the siblings, all of them came and lived with them in the house. This was not something that he was aware of that was going to happen. And the children were being homeschooled by their uncle, that is Shiro's brother, and he used to pay a full salary to this uncle. And there's the sister living here, and he's also putting out that he bought a car which is under Shiro's name. She did not like the house that he used to live in and forced to move where he got this big mansion. And so people start saying how ungrateful this woman is. I think even if you can go under the comment section, you'll get to see the things that people wrote, and it seemed that they went ahead to even contact her through her social media pages, calling her a gold digger, a user, and all that. So Shiro decides to come back and give her side of the story, where she gives details. So basically everything that Greg said is true, but he did not give an explanation as to how that came about. I think we can put it as that. So Shiro on her live stream shares, I think I'll just do it in a summary from the very beginning. They met on Facebook and they chatted over Facebook, decided to meet, and they slept together during that meeting, which led to her being pregnant with the twins. But apparently this man did not want to have children. The day that they slept together, he had given her a morning after pills. And what we get together through this entire live stream is that this was a man who did not want to be a father, and he blocked her several times. Through the live stream, you'll get to hear that. At some point in time, he came to Kenya and they decided to rent an apartment in Nakuru. And what Greg wanted at that time, allegedly, because this is Shiro's side of the story, is that he wanted her to move in with him, but without the kid. So he was very blatant that he wanted nothing to do with the children. In fact, Shiro explained that when they went to see her parents, he had put out that these children should be introduced that he is their uncle and not their dad. So the grandmother to the children, that is Shiro's mother, when they arrived, decided to ask the children, do you know who this is? And the children did not know who he is, and the grandmother told them that that is your dad. And so to cut the long story short, Greg and Shiro move in together, and the children move in with them. And Shiro shares that when the children came, he did not even hug them. Like, there was no that parental love towards the children. And at one point in time, there was a time that he locked the children in the room. And during this time, he also decides to go back to Germany. And when he goes back to Germany, he calls the landlord, lets him know that he's going back to Germany. He will not be able to pay the rent. And so Shiro is forced to sell some things that they had in the house. And she moves in with the sister and not with the parents, if I'm not wrong. So Greg has blocked her during this time. And this is what I'm telling you guys, that it was an on and off. That is blocking, you're unblocked. He ceases communication, then he's back. He wants to make things work. He wants to get back his family. They want to build this family together. She agrees. And this cycle just continues. And whenever he is mad, or perhaps is just overwhelmed maybe with parenting, he blocks her, he's out, and she's left there stranded. And we will go with allegedly because this is Shiro's side of the story. And also whatever Greg had said, allegedly. But she did not refute the claims that her siblings had moved in with them. So that is after they got back again together with Greg. So what she puts out is that, first of all, he is an atheist. He does not believe in God. He does not want anything to do with religion. She mentions that there was a time that they were in Nakuru and her parents were praying for them before they leave, and he was outside waiting because he does not believe in Christianity. Also did not want his children to practice Christianity. Basically, Shiro says that he had told her to go to school, the kids' school that is, and let the teacher know that he does not want his children to do CRE. That is Christian religious education. That is one of the subjects that is studied in Kenyan schools for those who perhaps are watching this video and are not aware of that. Shiro also does share that their house, she had no say whatsoever from how the house was furnished. She was only given a chance to put the paintings, and that was the only thing that she did. Feelings, her thoughts were always brushed off. So I think we can basically categorize this as an emotionally abusive relationship. You have no say, you cannot speak your mind, you cannot give any opinion. And also there was the financial abuse aspect as well, because she does say that she felt at some point she was really scared because the conditions that she was in is that if she is not with this man, the children will not be provided for. And so what we really get to see from her live stream is that she really perhaps tried to be in this relationship for the sake of the children and the provision that was happening. So that is why she couldn't leave. And so comes this year, and this is where she decides that enough is enough and she's leaving. And she gives one of the many incidents that had happened. And let's just talk about food. So she does mention that Greg, first of all, is somebody who works during the night. He's always in his office, and then during the day he's sleeping. So they basically did not have so much contact. Then he was quite controlling when it comes to how people are eating. He would complain that people are eating quite a lot. There was an incident where he found the kids eating bread, and I believe it was egg and some tomatoes, and he asked that the kids are eating dinner quite early, and he somehow was not hoping that dinner would be cooked. Shiro also does mention that he will say that sometimes the kids are being given too much food or they're eating too much. And so one morning, apparently he wakes her up and is so mad and pissed that the children ate bread and he could not find any bread. Shiro does explain that there were some things that were said in this particular incident that she does not want to mention, but this was it for her, and that is when she decided that she has to leave. And so without taking sides in this particular story, I would like you guys just to go watch their videos respectively and draw in your own conclusions. But according to me, first of all, I saw that this relationship began on bad footing. There was no love, they never dated, they were never friends. So they met, slept together, she was pregnant, he never wanted to have kids. So basically he is being a dad in his 60s, and this is something that he did not see himself doing. And also we do get to perhaps get a hint that he had planned all along that he wanted to retire in Kenya because it is cheaper here. And so Shiro shares that sometimes she is not quite sure if he moved back because he wanted to be with her, or because he loved her, or wanted to be with his family, or rather because he wanted companionship because he is retiring in Kenya and he wanted not to be alone and somebody to be there for him and all that. Which perhaps may explain this toxic breaking up and getting back together, and when perhaps he feels alone, he persuades her to get back with him. But what she does put out is that he is a loving guy, which I don't understand how, because the relationship is already toxic, but she does put out that he loved her. There were times he provided and there were times that he did not. But I think in conclusion, what I just drew from this is, first of all, do not have kids with somebody who is or has already put out that he does not want to have children. But in this case, they met that first day and they slept together, and two beautiful children were a result of this. But also she was very young. She was 20 years old. So this is somebody who has not fully matured. This is somebody who has not come out of herself. This is somebody who is still discovering herself as a woman still. And this reminds me of a point that she had put out, that the moment she started getting deals, there was a tourism deal that she got. This is where this man started feeling threatened, was very unhappy that she was working, felt that she would meet somebody else out there. So this is where I'm talking about the financial control aspect in this relationship. Also, what we do know is that during this entire time that she continued to be in this relationship and wanted to be there is because she could not provide for her children really well as much as her parents had stepped in. And right now, there is a mature woman, somebody who is getting her own money, somebody who is very much aware of her self-worth, not afraid to leave a toxic marriage, a toxic relationship, even if she has to leave the money behind, because no matter what, she is able to provide for herself and maybe perhaps her children. And so that is just a brief summary, and I think you just have to watch both videos to decide for yourself what this is about. But according to me, that is the few things that I gathered, and also why it is always important to have your own money as a woman. No matter how small it is, it's always important to have a little bit of independence, no matter how rich the man is. Now, of course, they both have given their side of their stories, and everyone is blaming the other pretty much. Everyone is saying that the other party did this and that. Now, people had Greg's story, called her a gold digger. Then there are those who had her second story and they're feeling like he is the problem. So fans have been divided in between. There are those who are supporting Greg and there are those who are supporting Shiro. But I think the most important people in this story are the children. I think it is pretty sad that children might grow up and find out on the internet that they were never wanted, their father never loved them, he never wanted to be part of their lives, and he has been on and off. I mean, it's just sad, and these are not things that you want to find their way on social media. So one day they might grow and understand why their dad allegedly was not perhaps active when it comes to their school, because what Shiro has shared is that he does pay for school fees, but if you would ask him, does he know which school his children go to, he doesn't know. So basically he's there financially, but the emotional aspect is really missing. He might be there but does not have a personal relationship with his children. So I don't know where this will head, but we just hope that, at the end of the day, they will put the differences aside and take good care of their children, not only financially but emotionally. Anyway, that's it. You're up to date. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this, but you're up to date. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.